All right, that's a little bit about working with youth. And the topic that there was, I'm going to just double check the Q&A for a moment. When I asked about specialty topics, and I asked what topics you might want a little bit more information on, propagation and especially indoor propagation came up as a question. And so I wanted to share a little bit more about indoor propagation. And if there are more questions about propagation, we can do more in the coming calls as well. We have 2 more calls, so we'll start here. We'll start with what I have here, and we might go a little bit deeper in the next 2 calls. So starting your seeds indoors, the primary thing you want to make sure you do is you want to put them somewhere that you can easily tend. If you put them somewhere that you are not and you're not present, those seedlings, it's going to be hard for you to take care of the seedlings. And, you know, for somebody who works at home, it's very easy because you have them at your home. But if you're somebody who works, 10 hours a day in a different location, that gets a little tricky. You might actually want to try to start your seeds where you work and convince your boss of what you're doing and the benefits of having them at work. Tell them increased oxygen. I don't know what you would tell them. But you might want to consider that because seeds, we're going to talk about light in just a minute, and seeds need quite a bit of light. And you could have them in your home, but the hours of the day when they want light, that's when they're going to dry out, and that's when you're going to want to be present and nearby. So that's something to consider, and we'll talk about one strategy to help with that moisture in just a minute. So you want them somewhere that are in wherever you are, they're easy to get to. That's the first thing. And then the next thing is that so many people start their seedlings on a windowsill. Online there's lots of discussion about starting your seeds on a windowsill. What's kind of tricky about growing seedlings on a windowsill is that not only are seedlings affected by light, but they're also affected by warmth. And so if you were to have, let's say, a south-facing window, those seedlings are going to get quite warm. And I was just baking in the sun a minute ago. I was just sitting like 3 feet inside of a window, and I was baking. I was so hot. It felt like it was like 90 degrees. And actually what happens is that the hotter it gets, the more number of hours of light that plant needs in order to be a strong seedling. And so what you often find on seedling or on windowsills is that people's plants get very leggy because they're not getting enough light for the amount of warmth that they're potentially getting. And so in this image is 2 different broccoli plants. They were grown in the same seed starting mix. The one on the left was grown indoor under a light, and the one on the right was grown indoor on a windowsill. Everything about this was exactly the same, and the number of weeks to this image was exactly the same. So you notice a couple differences. The image on the right, leggy. The difference, the space from the soil mix up to the first leaf is like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times as tall as the length to the first leaf of the plant on the left. So very tall, spindly, white, right? It's like very white and looks a little bit fragile. Here it's laying down, but I imagine if you were to stand these up, that the one on the right would kind of fall over. Another thing you'll notice is that the leaves on the one on the left, more vigorous, more green, more full, so the plant's healthier. That's because of the circulatory system bringing up lots of nutrients into the plant. And then the other thing you'll notice is the root growth. The one on the left has quite a bit of root growth, and the one on the right, essentially if you were to pick that up, the soil mix would kind of fall off of it. It doesn't even hold together because there's not a very big root structure. So that's a very fragile plant on the right versus the one on the left. So you can see what a huge difference it makes to grow your seedlings under a lamp if you're growing indoors. So I can't stress that enough. It's not that expensive to invest in the lights if you're going to grow indoors. I would totally recommend it. Let's see. And then I wanted to comment on this. I was looking for non-bleach options, so I wanted to circle back on this topic. And one of the things I talked about was sterilizing those trays. I did see an alternative to sterilizing with bleach. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to use chlorine bleach as one of your strategies for disinfecting, there is this alternate solution, which is basically a 20-minute soak in 3% hydrogen peroxide solution. And then after you do that, you can basically spray it with a white vinegar. And then after that, you're going to rinse the whole thing with clean water and let it dry in the sun. And this process, I'm told, cleans, disinfects over 99% of the germs and bacteria. So versus bleach, which when you soak trays in bleach, you in theory get 100% of the germs and bacteria. So this gets like 99.3, I think, or something like that. But it does protect you from things like damping off and E.coli and salmonella and some of those other things. So this is a process to kill bacteria and germs without bleach. So I just wanted to share that with you all as I found it. I thought it was pretty cool.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And for more simple and practical gardening tips, subscribe to Grow Your Own Vegetables. For more tips and updates, visit gyov.org and join our growing community.